What is going on, guys? This is Roberto Diaz. Today we're going to be talking about if I regret buying the Canon EOS R in 2019. To get straight to the point, guys, I do not regret buying the Canon EOS R. I don't want to sit here explaining to you that I love it, and by the end of the video you're gonna say, okay, he loves it. Yes, I do not regret buying this camera in 2019, and here are a few of the following reasons. Number one, this camera has beautiful, glorious, amazing, beautiful color science. You could say that about any Canon camera. They have the most beautiful, most accurate, in my opinion, best color science. You won't be disappointed with the color that you are getting out of this camera. You can't go wrong with this. The main reason I purchased this camera was because my wife has an online boutique. We do a lot of fashion shoots with models, things like that. A lot of times when you're shooting with a camera that doesn't have accurate colors, you're gonna get really yellow skin tones, really orangey looking colors. Models don't really like that, so I found myself with the Canon in a very safe, natural color space. My wife honestly did not like the colors coming out of the Panasonic GH5, or any Panasonic actually. Regardless of whatever type of work you're doing, you're gonna really enjoy using a Canon EOS R. Second thing that I love about the Canon EOS R is its stills quality. I was using a GH5 for the longest, and I've done a lot of live event photography, and I've noticed the change, the switch from a GH5 to a Canon EOS R. When you're taking pictures, the autofocus is way better on an EOS R compared to a GH5, GH4 Panasonic lineup. The actual focusing is way better, so you're gonna actually be able to detect people's eyes, detect their face, since that is not something that Panasonic can actually do in a working way. Since you're getting great color science and you're getting amazing stills, that you're going to be able to take amazing high quality pictures. So if you're doing fashion photography, any type of photography in general, food photography, you're going to notice that you're going to get great accurate colors, especially since they're going to look more realistic and less than the fake cinematic side. The third thing that I love is the autofocus. Once again, I'm sorry to keep bringing on the GH5. The autofocus it just works. That's all I could say. In a GH5, you're messing around with the autofocus, you're never gonna get actual real results, working results, I could say. With the Canon EOS R, you're gonna get great autofocus, and you don't even have to worry about it. That's what I love about this camera. You literally just set it, leave it, it's gonna work. That's all you have to do. And coming from a YouTube side where you're recording yourself, you don't wanna have to actually be there tweaking, manually focusing with focus peaking, whatever. With YouTube, this kind of thing, when you kind of have a moving subject, you wanna be able to capture the person in focus. You don't wanna have to be worrying about, actually dialing focus. And I found myself using the EOS R for more sit down interview videos where I just put the tripod, put the camera, hit record, nail the exposure. All I have to worry about is nothing, because it's capturing the actual focus for me. So it's been a breeze. It's been an absolute joy using that feature. Since all these cameras do have autofocus, but a lot of them lack actual working autofocus. Panasonic, please step up your autofocus. There's a few things that I don't enjoy about the Canon EOS R. Number one thing that I don't enjoy is I don't really enjoy that the file size in 4K is massive. It's extremely huge compared to a GH5. Once again, I know I keep comparing it. I capture a lot of church content weekly, so at the end of the week I capture a 2-hour service. With a GH5, you're roughly going to capture around 20 gigabytes for 2 hours. That's what I found myself capturing around there. With the Canon EOS R, you will fill up 128 gigabyte in 1 hour. Easily, easy peasy. So that's one thing you have to consider if you're not really looking into messing with huge 4K files. The Canon EOS R does have massive files due to it recording, I think, at 400 megabits per second. So the bit rate is way higher than what you're recording with a GH5. Another thing that I don't enjoy from the Canon EOS R would be non-existent IBS internally. You do get a digital stabilization for your camera, but to me it doesn't really work that good compared to other cameras which really nail it down. The GH5 being the king of in-body stabilization, you will notice a massive difference. And to be honest, this only applies when I'm doing live events. I have noticed that the Canon EOS R, I have to be extremely more careful when handling it compared to the GH5. It's like if you have a tripod in your head, tripod on your hands are tripod. It's funny that I got so used to using the GH5 when first time I got the Canon EOS R. After this entire event I shot on the EOS R, I remember going home, looking at my footage, and I'm like, oh my god, this is trash, this is horrible. And it wasn't because, you know, I didn't nail the white balance, the image was out of focus. It was literally because my footage was so extremely shaky. I think only like 30% of my footage was actually usable, and that's because I got so used to the GH5 where I wasn't really thinking about it. I was just boop boop shooting without thinking, you know. And now every time if I do use a EOS R for a live event, you have to be careful. You know, there's ways to prevent shakes, there's ways to prevent you having this huge jitters and things. So you are going to get those micro jitters with the EOS R handheld, but you can still get some great usable footage, so you don't really have to worry about it. It's just something in my experience that happened, but you can get usable great footage, and I've seen people use the EOS R without in-body stabilization and they get amazing results. So it was just me coming from a GH5, which has like the best in-body stabilization, that when I went to the EOS R, I was shocked and I was sad. Besides that, the EOS R is a great camera, and I recommend this camera to anyone doing fashion, YouTube, sit down videos, I don't know, I can't breathe, any kind of video, guys. This camera is an absolute beast. You're gonna love that sensor, whatever it's doing in there. Canon, thank you so much for that great image quality. Once again, guys, this is Roberto Diaz. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Hit that bell if you want some more, and thank you guys for watching this video. You better buy the EOS R. My name is Roberto Freeman. No, I'm just kidding.